Hey everybody, in today's video, I want to break down the exact system that I would use to start nutrition coaching right now, uh, regardless of like what tech's out there or the approach I would take, or any of the new things. This is exactly what I would do step by step to get started nutrition coaching. I'm going to break that down today live for you, the different parameters, what you need to do to actually attract people, to sign them up, to set them up on a plan, to coach them, to get them great results, to graduate them. We're going to break that all down step by step. Now, before I do that, a few housekeeping notes. Throughout this, number one, I encourage you to ask questions and interact. That's really, really helpful. As well as, I'm going to raffle off a version of our entire NCA nutrition coaching system. What you're going to need to do to participate in that is drop the words system down in the comments, like Nikki has already done here, which is fantastic. Thank you, Nikki. If you're tuning into the actual live version, which I encourage you to do, and I'm thankful that you're here watching, number one, appreciate the support. Like the video as well. That pushes even further and gets the right eyes on it. But you're going to be in the raffle for, I'll put 2 entries because you showed up live. Now, if you're not watching live and you're watching the replay, I'll do the raffle sometime next week. So you have time afterwards to still get in it, which is fine. But you can still participate and drop the words, system down in the comments, and I'll raffle it off and I'll keep everything into account for next week. So don't feel like you can't do it just because you're not watching live. So appreciate that. Will be the first thing. The second thing is, if you're interested in nutrition coaching, you want to learn more about our program, next week we're hosting a completely free informational webinar. We call it the Nutrition Coaching Open House, where you come in, you learn a little bit more about nutrition coaching and if it's right for you, as well as what we do within NCA, what problems we solve, how our students are crushing it, how we go about the education process and mentorship and systems and all that type of stuff within that webinar. You should come join us for that. What I'm going to do is, let me put the actual, let me put this in the chat as well. Sign up for this registration here. There's only 30 spots available. It's up on the screen there too, but it's in the chat. Click on that, go register for that to learn more about the program. And there'll be an exclusive offer on the call with bonuses we've never done before, as well as a discount within the program. So go check that out. Take me up on that. It's going to be a really, really good opportunity. I'll talk about that. If you have any questions about that, by all means, ask me there in the comments and we'll go from there. But I really want to talk about this whole nutrition coaching system thing, because I know for so many of you, like, let's talk about what happens when you don't have a system. You know a lot about nutrition. You feel like you could get people results. Maybe you are helping people. Maybe you are working within it, but like every time you do something, like, it's completely new for the first time. Like, you're creating a new, like you're explaining something for the first time. You're pulling a new resource for the first time. You're going about the actual coaching process, be it like the communication differently. Things are all over the place, and it makes it really tough to make like a repeatable system out of it, right? Like, you don't know step by step what you need to do through that process. So for a lot of people, it means like, what do I do next? How do I go about this? How do I be consistent? How do I do things similarly and in a repeatable fashion for the people that I help? Okay, awesome. Got another raffle there. Amazing. Thanks for tuning in. I'll put you into the raffle here and we'll go from there. I have to start compiling a list as well. Let me build that out for a second. Oh, guys, I'm in a tab disaster again as well. Just so many tabs open. And for someone that doesn't multitask well to begin with, it's a little overwhelming. Okay, I'm just pulling up let's do this right here. Got 2 people in the raffle. Well, so what happens when you don't have a system, right, is that like things are all over the place in terms of, like, when I know I have a client that's starting, I know I need to get them to fill out an application form. I know I need to do an assessment with them. I know I need to onboard them with all the materials that explain my check-in process and expectations. And then from there, I know I'm setting them up on a check-in day. They're going to know exactly where to submit information, where it goes, how I will respond, what happens when they don't fill out that information in the right period of time, what happens afterwards. They know exactly what to expect from me from being coached. And we start to build out everything that way. Like that's how we actually build out this stuff step by step. It's nice to have like a flow chart, but it's even better to know, what you'll do at each step of the process. And that's what we do within the program, is build that stuff out. And I just went through the process there. Let me break it down a little bit more for you today and how to go about that. Let me just got Elia 2 there. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But I'm making note of your guys' usernames here. Faith and Strength with Nikki. Got C Wilkes Fitness and Elia Rothstein 6737. If you guys want to drop your actual names in there too, first names, that'd be helpful for me. But I've got my live participants here, and you guys are going to get two entries in the raffle for our entire coaching system. When I talk about like an actual coaching system, we're talking about the steps broken down, in a way that's like easy to understand. For me, awesome, Nikki, got Nikki Ramirez there. If Nikki was going to work with me as my nutrition client, like the first step in that actual process would be like the easiest thing to do. And awesome, Courtney. The easiest thing to do would be to like, Nikki's going to work with me. Let's get her to fill out an application form. An application form doesn't collect all the information that you would need to coach someone, but it's like a first step into the process. It's a first step. It's like what you need to make a decision around like what they want to achieve, and if you're actually going to be able to coach them. I know so many times, I think if someone's just coming into your world for the first time and they're like considering working with you, they don't want, to fill out a form that's essentially homework. That typically adds in too much friction, too much resistance around the process. I want to ask like 5 to 6 questions around like what they want to achieve, what they've done in the past, how willing they are to change, and some contact information so that I can make a best guess around like, is my coaching right for them? So I want to have that application form that like lives in my bio. I direct people to it all the time, regardless of like how curious they are, what kind of question they have. It's like, hey, that's a great question. Go fill that out. And I can provide you some more insight around, around the answer, as well as talk a little bit about coaching if you're interested in that. Most people will do that. Super simple and straightforward. Then from there, like to set them up on a plan, I also want to know not only just like theoretically the things that would contribute to their plan, their height, their age, their gender, their goals, but I also want to know what they're doing right now. Like, so what are some things that they're doing right now? The best way to collect that objective information around like their habits and nutrition is get them to start a food diary. Get them to start a food diary using a tracking app that will take essentially, a log of what they're eating and turn it into objective numbers like calories and macronutrients on a daily level that is going to influence their results, right? Like a lot of people will say, well, I do this for breakfast, I do this. It's like, no, like show me what you do on a daily basis. Let's take the averages of that over the course of, 3 to 5 days and, the ups and downs and different scenarios, average that out, take a look at that so we can get a better sense of, what's going on with your typical habits and nutritionally what you're doing right now. Then we compare that to, what they need to be doing and the optimal levels for their goals, and start to show them, the things that are holding them back. And that would be the cornerstone. That's the structure of their plan. It doesn't tell them exactly what to do, but it tells them what they need to do and creates some basically checks and balances around the parameters that will dictate if they lose weight or if they gain weight, or if they want to gain muscle, and those type of things. We're trying to build that process out. And then from there, let's say they made the decision to work with us. We run that process through something we call the free nutrition report, right? Which is a great way to take people that are curious about working with us, start to coach them through a free process at the beginning on the front end. Is essentially taking the thing that you do once someone signs up and puts it on the other side of things so they get going. It essentially starts the coaching process that way. A lot of people are like, oh man, this is great. This is individualized. This is helpful. This is going to help me get results. This is exactly what I need to do. It starts to build up that actual coaching process, and it's a good sales mechanism. So we put that on just on the front end. And then from there, let's say someone's ready to sign up. When you're building out your actual coaching system, you want a way to collect now that objective information through time. We use a simple tracking sheet. I'm sure you guys all have access to it and maybe checked it out. If you haven't, let me know and I'll get it over to you. It's also going to be included as part of that full nutrition coaching system raffle. So if you haven't got into the actual raffle yet, make sure you write system down in the comments. But then from there, like you're collecting that objective information through that tracking sheet, as well as collecting some subjective information, not just sending over a message and saying, hey, how'd the week go? But some subjective information through a check-in form. It's going to ask them some questions about, how well did they adhere to things over the course of the week? What went well? Name some wins, name some areas for improvement, getting them reflecting on things, some good check-in questions. We'll get the client essentially like coaching themselves in terms of reflecting on how the week went. Let me know what else we need to plan for. So you can address all of this stuff in a non-live capacity, right? Like you don't need to meet with people. You don't need to, that was some of the best aspects of Nutrition Coach is that we can run most of the stuff online. Like we don't need to have in-person meetings. We don't need to have Zoom meetings that are being scheduled and that type of stuff. You can collect all the information. And honestly, this day and age, your clients are going to appreciate not having another thing to schedule in. So we need a way to collect that objective information, pulling the data about how their week went, as well as the subjective information around like how they feel things went. And then from there, we can respond to that check-in. Ideally, we do things where if we have multiple clients, we're sitting down at one time to put all this information together and respond with a variety of clients all at one time. And therefore you can work with if that's a process that takes you 10 to 20 minutes per client, you can do 8 clients in 2 hours. It's super flexible that way. And that's how we start to build out this scalable business that doesn't take all of our time. We start to build it out that way. Typically how we teach responding to those check-ins is something that we call the hybrid check-in process. So you're going to respond through doing a video voiceover of you going over, here's what I'm seeing, here's what needs to change, here's what I'm thinking, addressing it that way. Your clients will love that because they're going to see their coach speak to them, right? They're going to see their coach go over their stuff on an individual level, which is fantastic. They're going to they feel like they're being taken care of by you, which they are, but you can do that not through having to hold their hand through the process or meet with them, right? And it's also scalable. So we do that video voiceover. We submitted it and include it in an email with a little paper trail around what's changing, and we send it off, and that's the check-in process. Now you're going to deliver this entire coaching service through selling your actual coaching on a month-to-month rate. That's the best place to get started. Most coaches will sell this service between $200 to $300 per month per client. How long will clients work with you? On average, probably between 4 to 7 months. We've collected the data. That's kind of what it looks like. And at the beginning, it's probably better to deliver it that way as opposed to selling term packages, because for a lot of people, if you're just getting established and that type of stuff, maybe it's even if they need that much time, it might be tough for them to wrap their head around upfront to be I'm doing this 3-month or 6-month coaching program. As well as a coach, it helps you build up your monthly recurring revenue as you get going, right? So we built it out that way. So now you have some clients and you're taking them through this process, and that's how you're setting up things on a weekly basis. I would probably tell you to aim to take on 5 to 10 clients on a single day before you add in another check-in day, because you'll be able to take on that much. You can spend the additional time, so many of you guys are doing this as a side hustle while you have a full-time thing and you're building it out, that allows you to do like, 1 day of coaching and maybe 1 day of business building and focus on it that way. All this stuff makes sense. You guys starting to see how you can build out a nutrition coaching system? Because this is the exact system I would use. That's the exact system I would teach you to go through to build it out. If you have any questions about how it will fit into your own specific situation, by all means, drop it in the comments and let's talk about how to mold this to you for the best chance of success. But that's how I would get started, and that's how I'd get this stuff going. It's like how you like actually, and again, I start to build out these resources in the system and kind of like a step-by-step flow chart. So you feel confident about like, okay, this is where this client is in the process, or this is where this lead is in the process, or this is where, how far along they've went. This allows you to stay organized. It's still like scrappy enough for you to get this going, but that's how we build out things step by step. If you haven't yet entered that raffle, make sure to write system there down in the comments and I'll get you in that way. What questions you guys got about this process though? If this is all sounding like it's like, hey, this seems super straightforward and how I want to practice too. If you want to learn more about how we actually teach you to do that through, a coaching system, but with mentorship and with strategy and how to actually get clients, you should definitely check out our webinar coming up on Tuesday. I'll drop that again that link again in the comments here. Take me up on that. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity to learn a little bit more about what we do and why the coaches that come into our program, they don't just learn about the science of nutrition, which they do, but they learn how to apply it and they learn how to create a business out of it, because there's a focus on marketing and strategy, how I put myself out there to get clients, how do I put myself out there, in my own situation and the strengths that I have and the opportunities that I have. Awesome. I got no 6 and 9. I'm going to add you there to the actual raffle. Give me a name too. Just 'cause it's going to be easier for me to keep organized here. And again, if you're watching the replay of this, no reason why you can't enter the raffle as well. I'll put it on my community board when I do the raffle. I'll do like a Loom video and a link and that kind of thing. But no reason why you can't do it. I'll do that later next week. Awesome. Okay, Jeffrey, gotcha there. Oh, Jeffrey, I think the name's familiar too. I think maybe you're coming to the webinar already. Why do I have a list of people's names in my head? Awesome. But I got your name down there. Okay. If you're like, I'm not registered for that, then get registered. No, I'm just kidding. Just disregard that. But what questions do you guys have about this stuff? Does it all make sense? I appreciate you spending some time with me today. It's amazing to be able to talk about this stuff and help you get going. I am amazing. I'm on today. There we go. Any questions, guys? Jeffrey, have you started this? Have you started this stuff? Have you started getting this stuff going? Courtney or Nikki, if you guys are still there, have you taken the steps? Are you already coaching people? Are there things you need to adjust or optimize? Let me know. This has been a good break for me today. I've been building out a fat loss mini course for one of our partnerships, our educational partnerships. And it's been nice too. That's pretty science heavy. And this is nice to talk practical application and what you guys need to do to coach and make money. So it's been good. If there's not any other questions for today, make sure to sign up for that webinar. Make sure to enter the raffle. And I hope you got a better sense of what you need to do to get started in nutrition coaching, as well as maybe refine your systems if you're already working with coaches or clients. I think a lot of times coaches think that I've gotten started. This is what I have going. We have coaches that come into our program that have, an established business. They have 5 to 10 paying clients, but they know there's things that they could do to make it more professional, things that they could do to make it so that it's going to be easier to take on 20 clients and to grow and scale. And that's all part of the process. All right, Jeffrey, not officially, but starting to get organized to try to give it a go. Hope these resources give you the best chance of making a go of it. So I'm excited to see what the next step is for you. That's it for me today, gang. You know where to find me if you have any questions, and we'll see you guys next week. Okay, chat soon. Bye. Now, as great as all those tips are, maybe you're still wondering how to start or grow your nutrition coaching. Here's what I want you to do. Go to the first link down in the description below, and you'll get all the details on our Nutrition Coaching Academy certification. It's a 90-day program that'll give you everything you need to start nutrition coaching or to take your nutrition coaching business to the next level. Check out all the details down in the link below, and thanks for watching.